Hello, I've got some book news. It's falling over. So yesterday, I went with my boyfriend to get some books because I've been telling him I want books for my birthday, and he got me something else, and I was like, I still want books. So we went book shopping yesterday. My birthday was like 4 or 5 days ago. It's August 8th. So yeah, I really wanted this one because it's from an author I really enjoyed. Her first book, her debut book in 2020, I think it came out. But I read it the year after, I'm not sure. No, I read it the year it released. Besides that point, I got The Maid and the Crocodile by Jordan Ifeco. So this one is by the author that wrote Great Barrier. I never read the second book from that series, a duology, because I was too scared to read it, but it was one of my favorite books at that time. But yeah, The Maid and the Crocodile, as you can see, I started reading it in the car. So I got this tassel, this bookmark tassel, and I put it in there. And unfortunately, I'm not in the mood for like fantasy, so I know that, and that's the reason why I paused and I was like, okay, it's really good, but I can feel that I'm not in the mood for fantasy because I've tried 2 fantasy books so far, just not feeling them. So that's book 1 that I got from Barnes & Noble. I also got some magnetic bookmarks, and they're like butterflies, moths, not sure exactly, but they're really pretty. I want to try them out. I always see others using them, so I got it. I'm gonna try it out. Then I got, was it Cross the Line? Cross the Line, yeah. It's a romance book. I kept seeing it before it was released. It was released in July, I think. I got this one because it looks really pretty, to be honest. That's why I got it. Like, I hardly know anything about it. It's an F1 romance. F1 is like those race car drivers. I honestly don't know what F1 means, but I do know the phrase for these type of books. Like, yeah, like the type of racing. That's all I really know. It just seems cute, and I want to read some romance right now, so I got this one to read it. Hopefully I enjoy it. Hopefully it's not like very boring, you know, because it takes a lot for me to enjoy a romance book. I'm not really a romance reader. But yeah, that's another one I got. Then I got Funny Story by Emily Henry. So far I've only read one Emily Henry book, but I do own, counting this now, 4 of her books. I own what is it, Happy Place, People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, and now Funny Story. But so far I've only read People We Meet on Vacation by her. I think I read it in 2022, if I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. I think it was, but yeah, it was around summertime 2022, I think. I did enjoy that one. I actually loved it. It was one of my favorites of the year because like I like when romance have more serious topics inside of them, so that's why I enjoyed it. But it was also just like a friends to lovers sort of, so I love friends to lovers, so I enjoyed that for that reason. I've been wanting to read another Emily Henry book. That's why I've been acquiring more of her books as they release. Honestly, when I saw the cover for this, like everyone was excited, I was not excited. I was like, oh, that cover is ugly. Like, I go based off covers, to be honest. Like, even when I read the synopsis, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. If the cover is really ugly, I'm most likely not gonna read it. Or if I do read it, I'll only get it as like a Kindle. Like, I won't get the physical, and I'll just like bypass the picture as I'm going to read it. And I'm like, okay, it's not ugly, Martina. It's pretty. It's pretty. Believe it. And then I go read it. But yeah, Funny Story. The more I kept hearing about it, like when it was released, the more I was like, oh, it actually sounds interesting. So that's why I got it. And I feel like reading it now, so that's why I bought it. I want to read Emily Henry, but I don't want to read Happy Place because it seems more on the sad side, like, you know, based on the topic it's about. So I was like, I don't want to read that. And Beach Read, I never want to read Beach Read. I don't know. I probably would unhaul it if I don't get to read it by the end of, by next year, because, you know, summertime. I like to actually read romance books in summertime, especially a beach read. Last book I got from Barnes is A Sorceress Comes to Call. This one is by T. Kingfisher. So far this year, I read Nettle and Bone by them, and I really loved that book. It was so great. It was so dark and just so funny at the same time. I tried reading Sword Heart by them because I really thought I would like it, but I honestly hate the characters, so I gave up on that one. But I'm hoping I will love this one. And I see some other books by T. Kingfisher that seems really interesting, so I'm gonna try those out. Next, I have some other books that I acquired recently as well. The first one is Out on a Limb by Anna Bonin Young, I think. Bonan Young. Yeah, so this one is another romance that I want to try out. It's basically a pregnancy trope romance, not really a fan of pregnancy tropes, but at the same time, I do love when there's a baby in a book at the same time. So like usually not when it's the main characters, but I do love when there's a baby in a book. And I heard this is different. It follows like their pregnancy journey and like how they overcome some stuff during that time period. And yeah, it just sounds, honestly, like I would like it because it sounds more serious, because I like when romances are focused on different things other than just a romance, because when it's just a romance I'm kind of bored, you know, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I got. Then I got this massive book, When the Moon Hatched. So pretty, honestly. Cover by cover by. So yeah, this one is by Sarah A. Parker, but to be honest, I saw it way before it was released, like way before. I saw when the author was like, she did the cover reveal, but also she was like talking about like the topics inside the books, like the contents, you know. I followed her because of her other series, and then I saw she was releasing this one. I was like, oh, that looks nice. And then when it was released, I like honestly forgot about it, but I kept seeing like the cover and I was like, that looks familiar. And people on Book Talk and YouTube were like talking about it and like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And then there's also, you know, people hating on it and stuff. So yeah, honestly, I don't care about either opinion. It just looks good, and based on reading the synopsis, I think I'll like it. So that's why I got it, and that's why I'm gonna read it. And yeah, that's another book I got. Hopefully I read this one soon, because I'm kind of getting at my fantasy mood, but I always get back into that mood when it's like September, October. So yeah, we're nearing there. We have next A Dawn of Oxy. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not even gonna try again. This is another fantasy romance. I do like fantasy romance, but I actually haven't read a lot of them, but I like them a lot because I love romance, but I love fantasy more. So yeah, it's by Kate Golden. I think it's about a girl who gets captured in place of her brother because her brother stole something. I don't remember exactly. It sounds like a typical fantasy romance, to be honest. Like, she gets captive, she falls in love with somebody, probably someone that captured her, who knows. Hopefully not. I think she's captured with someone else. I'm probably mixing it up with When the Moon Hatched, because When the Moon Hatched, I think she's held captive too, but who knows. But yeah, A Dawn of Oxy, I got that as well. Then lastly, I got Foxglove by Adeline Grace. I read Belladonna last year, like October time, because the vibes, you know. And Foxglove came out recently, right? Honestly, I'm lying. Foxglove came out last year, but recently Wisteria is coming out this month. I think it already came out actually. Wisteria is the third book in the series, and I started this one when I got it, but like I wasn't enjoying the audiobook, because I like to read with audiobooks while I'm reading physically, because that's the way I focus more on reading. But the audiobook was, I don't know, I liked it in Belladonna because I like the voice of death. Because if you don't know, Belladonna is about this girl who can see death as like a physical entity, and he's always following her around, and I think she cannot die too. Yeah, I enjoyed Belladonna. It was like a 3.5 star, but I didn't love it, but I liked the vibes a whole lot, so that's why I got the second book, Foxglove. And Foxglove so far was enjoying it, but like not the audiobook, so I decided to go just read it physically. And honestly, underneath the dust jacket is so pretty. That's one of the reasons why I was like, let me get this one. But I don't have Belladonna physically, so I just got this one since I already read Belladonna. I'm the type of person that I'll just buy a book physically to read it. I won't try to buy the whole series, you know. I just buy it to read it, not to actually like, what do you call it, collect. Yeah, but I might get Belladonna, I might not, who knows. I don't really like cover Belladonna. So yeah, these are what I acquired recently for my birthday, basically birthday book haul, and so happy and excited to read them because I haven't read anything on here. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.